Hello, my lovely Painiacs. It is, as always, Lady Pain, and you are watching the WrestleHorror podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WrestleHorror. Greetings, viewers and listeners. Meathook Jim here, the WrestleHorror podcast. With me, as always, my co-host, Donnie Hoover. Donnie, what's going on? You're in your studio again.
Yeah, I'm back in the dungeon. We're in the midst of the move. The move officially began on Wednesday night, so we are moving over to the bigger facility. So I don't have any electric in the building yet, so I gotta wait till I get everything moved over.
Oh, that's no fun.
Oh yeah. I'll be excited when it's done and over with. I say, because that'll be where we'll be at for a little while.
But we're going to have a little fun on this episode. We are joined by Lady Pain. She has her own radio show podcast. She's a multimedia whiz, from what I understand. Lady Pain, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Hello, my lovely Painiacs. I'm so excited to be on a different platform tonight. Normally, I am on Score on Air Network on Facebook and YouTube and Anchor, and you name it. But I am here tonight with you guys, and I am so happy to be here. Thank you guys so much for inviting me on.
We are thrilled to have you on the show. Donnie spoke highly of you. He says we've got to get her on the show. So welcome to WrestleHorror. We're going to talk about wrestling. We're going to talk about horror. We're just going to have a good time tonight. So
yeah, I'm excited.
So tell us a little bit about your background. Let's start with that.
Well, I was born in Bucyrus, Ohio. I'm actually a bastard. My mom had an affair with my father, and then out popped me. So I had a very different childhood. But I met my husband, Brandon Payne, at a wrestling show that I went to it was probably about 10 years ago now. But I met him, and he asked me out, and I was only about maybe like 19 years old. So I was like, I don't really date wrestlers. And so long story short, we met up a few years later, and we've been together ever since. 7 years now, and we've been married 5.
That's awesome. You can't go wrong with a wrestler sometimes. I mean, let's face facts. I mean,
absolutely.
It's a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Trust me. And being married to Brandon Payne, who is one of the biggest heels at the ASWA, I am highly medicated. And
yep.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun though. There is never a dull moment with him.
Well, it's all about performing. Pro wrestlers are performers. And that's the great thing about our podcast, WrestleHorror, is because we're looking at performers on the wrestling side, we're looking at performers on the horror side, and we're looking at performers that do haunted houses. And it's just a great mix. And I'm pretty sure Donnie was talking to you about this on your show, that we have started a thing called Wrestling with Your Character, which incorporates pro wrestling into the haunting industry.
Mm-hmm.
And you, as we were talking off air, you told me that you've been to Bloodview, and won a runner-up, or there was some kind of award for Scream Queen.
Yes.
Bloodview is an amazing haunt. I've been up there once when I went to a haunters convention in Columbus called the Midwest Haunters Convention one season. We went up to Bloodview and we got to tour that, and it was just an amazing attraction. So haunting's in our blood, and apparently you have a desire to haunt.
Yes, absolutely. It is something that I have not been able to do, but it is definitely on my bucket list. But the story behind Bloodview was my husband and I are actors. We actually just started acting about 4 years ago, and we got with our friend Vern, and he was doing the 48-hour film festival up in Cleveland a few years ago, and him and our friend Gressel were writing up the script with it, and Random Pain and I were driving up there. We already had the address to go up to Bloodview Haunted House, and of course, Random Pain being the heel that he is inside and outside of the ring, he just would not stop the entire time. So I was texting Gressel, and I said, is there any way that we can kill off my husband in this film? and immediately he was like, yes, we will do it. I am writing it into the script. So long story short, I wound up killing him with a stapler, and I was screaming as I was punching him in the face with the stapler, and that actually got me nominated for Scream Queen. I didn't win, but it is still a great honor to actually be nominated, because knowing me, I don't win anything. So I was so excited and so honored.
Well, that's just because you wasn't acting when you were doing it in your mind.
Right. Oh, it was great therapy. It really was.
I've got to say, killing your husband with a stapler has got to be up there on one of the more unique kills I've heard of.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Just staple him to death. Is that pretty much how it worked?
So basically what I did, which I have a stapler right here, I grabbed it and I slammed him up on the lockers, and then I just like hit him in the face with it, like constant, and it was so great doing it. It's awesome.
Should have put a few staples into him too.
Yeah.
Staple a dollar bill to his forehead.
Yeah. Which that's nothing that he hasn't done before.
Right.
So he was a 90s wrestler, so
Mm-hmm.
we all know what that brought.
Oh yeah, for sure. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was on your show. Me and Terry was on your show Wednesday night for the In the Ring with Lady Payne, and this is how this came about, because the more we talked, we realized that we had a lot in common with wrestling, and you're a wrestler wife, like Terry's a wrestler wife. You're into horror, you're into haunted houses, so it was like a perfect fit, and that's why I reached out to you and said, hey, come on the show and talk a little bit. So we want to just get some stuff out. Let's talk about the Score on Air and explain what that is to people that to might draw up their interest in the Ring with Lady Payne, and just to try to get the viewers and the listeners familiar with what is going on there.
Absolutely. So Score on Air is a radio station that we have at the Ohio Media School, which is the college that I attend, and it's solely sports based. We do have a second radio show or radio station called WUDG Underground, where they talk about everything. I actually had a show there a few months ago, but I just it wasn't getting the hype that I wanted it to. So I stuck with my show In the Ring with Lady Payne. When I first came to the Ohio Media School, Adam Dell, the program director for Score on Air, he came to me and he was like, I hear that you're with wrestling, and I said, yeah, and that blossomed a great friendship between all of us. We started talking with Jimmy Lee with the ASWA, and we brokered a deal with them to start broadcasting their shows. And then I got my show February 24th of last year, and we went up for season 1 up until I think August, and then season 2 aired when I started the sports emphasis program, and it's been absolutely amazing. I love it.
Nice. Yeah, we were there back in March, like right before the Arnold, me, Onyx, and Peachy, and then you were in the room. We were on the Loganity's show, and but you were in the room there, and that's where I first met you. And we talked.
I was actually shadowing that day because Logan was going to be my producer, so they wanted me to shadow to see, how it went.
Nice. Yeah. And so we got to talking, and you talked about wrestling and how you was up there with Jimmy Lee and them, and your husband worked for him and stuff. So it was kind of like a good fit. And so the In the Ring with Lady Payne, is that all you do wrestling wise? Do you do any work with ASWA, or are you just strictly doing the In the Ring with Lady Payne show?
No, for the ASWA, not only am I the wrestler's wife for Random Pain, but I also do the 50/50 raffle tickets. When I first started, the lady who did that, Megan, which I absolutely love her, she got sick, so she couldn't do it. So they asked me to do it, and I doubled their sales as far as 50/50 raffle tickets. So
nice.
I've been doing it ever since.
Very cool.
That's great. You doubling the sales. I can see why.
Well, thank you.
Donnie sent me over a promo pic. It's like, wow.
Yeah, that was my photo shoot with. I was doing a promo headshots for both In the Ring with Lady Payne and acting, and then for my second show, which was In the Chair with Lady Payne. Since I'm a director, I had my show on WUDG, where I was talking with people in the movie industry, but it didn't really take off like I wanted it to, so I just canceled it.
Okay. So
go ahead, Jim.
No, go ahead, Donnie.
I was just going to say, you was telling me when we did the show Wednesday that you were making the graphics and stuff, and for me to send your info. So do you have a design background, and do you do like any graphic design for ASWA or anybody?
As far as the whole graphic design for the ASWA, they have a person who does that. So I don't do that. I'm not as skilled in that as I am with the editing and producing part. Everything that I've learned as far as anything with the media industry, I've learned at the Ohio Media School. They taught me how to do Photoshop, Lightroom, graphic designs. They helped me make the graphics for my shows. The only thing that I didn't do as far as my show was my logo.
Okay.
I actually had Kevin Copel, who is a wrestler up north. He actually did my logo.
Oh, very cool.
I like the logo, by the way, if you can see it.
Thank you.
So you're learning all these things multimedia wise, and I'm sure you're progressing as you go along. How did you, when the first time you did a radio show, how did you feel?
Oh, I was so nervous. I was shaking. I was stuttering, and it was really nerve-wracking. Thankfully, I had my good friend Sid. He wrestles under Asylum. He was there as my first guest, so I wasn't as nervous with him where I have been with like other people, but we really made it work. It was really drawn out because my first season, it was 2 hours long, and my first show, I didn't have any other segments, so it was just questions like the entire time. And then Adam, he caught me afterwards, and he was like, maybe like break it up a little bit more. So I created the segment In the Ring with Dad Jokes, because I'm a sucker for dad jokes. So
Okay.
What's your favorite one?
My all-time favorite dad joke is why don't you see any vampires in Africa?
Why?
because they bless the rains.
That's painful, but funny at the same time.
Mhm. I say I'm a dad joke fan myself, so I thought
Yeah.
it was pretty
Oh wow, that is that. I hurt.
Well,
So
that was the same reaction that I got from Loganity too. He absolutely hates my dad jokes.
so let me ask you this: what started interesting you in horror?
Oh, honestly, I was terrified of everything as a kid. Um, the only thing that got me out of it was watching, and this is absolutely crazy, but I watched The Ring for the very first time, and I was obsessed with it. So yeah, my friend Heather and I, we watched it like 5 times in a row one night, and it spawned my love for horror films, but it also kind of eased my fear of it. I mean, granted, still I have to watch Disney movies after certain ones, but it's still good, you know.
Okay, all right. I was just curious because it's funny that you mentioned that you had a problem with him as a child because I did too.
Oh, really?
I did, and you can't. It's kind of hard to tell on video here, but I'm 6'4" and over 300 pounds. Um, but as a kid, all the way through high school, I could not watch a horror film. Couldn't
Mhm.
do it. Something clicked in me at the age of 18, and all of a sudden I could watch it. I can't explain why. Maybe it's because I was a man, but I couldn't watch them. And people would tease me, "Oh, you can't watch a horror." I left when I was 15. I left the theater because a movie scared me so bad.
Oh, really?
I bought that movie at a horror convention about 10 years ago, and I watched it going, why did this scare me? And I keep that film just for that purpose because I look back at it and go, you dumbass. Why did it scare you? But I mean, I wouldn't even watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show because it had the word horror in it. But
how many of those have you acted in?
oh God, I did a shadow cast for 10 years for Rocky Horror.
Oh, okay.
And he was almost every character, wasn't he? Just about, you said?
I played every character at least once, including Frank.
That's awesome. That is such a great movie.
But my primary character was Eddie.
Oh, yeah.
It's one I'm most proud of. But yeah, I love to hear how people get involved in horror. And, okay, so you started out with The Ring. Is that still your favorite horror movie?
No, not really. Watching it now, granted it's a classic, but I really don't have a real favorite horror movie. I would say that Repo the Genetic Opera would be my all-time favorite, but I don't know if you would categorize that in as a horror movie. It's more of a musical. But as far as horror movies, I gotta say my favorite one currently would be It, mainly because Pennywise scares the absolute fuck out of me. I mean, he is terrifying.
This one?
Yes, yes, that one. Now, mind you, I am not terrified of clowns at all. Like I'm actually planning on contacting a clown to come onto my show, but Pennywise with his smile and his eyes and then his super run and just I can't.
What's your favorite genre in horror?
mm. I would have to say thriller.
Thriller. Yeah, I'm a slasher guy, so that's
Yeah.
I love all kind of the campy, back and out in the woods, slasher, hillbilly. That's like I love all that stuff.
Have you seen the newest not,
Wrong Turn.
yes, Wrong
Yeah,
Turn.
I haven't watched it yet, but I do have it on my TV to watch it. I'm gonna buy it and watch it probably. Well, I don't know about this weekend because we're moving, but I'm going to get a chance to watch it.
Yeah, I
That
want to see it too.
Yeah, I heard it's like totally different from the actual Wrong Turn story, the original. So I'm kind of
it
interested to
was,
see what
yeah.
they do.
It was actually filmed down in southern Ohio, and
Mhm.
a few of my
It was in
of
Hocking
my
Hills, I think, wasn't it?
I'm sorry.
It was in Hocking Hills, I think they said. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Chris Hahn, Jimmy Lee, and Mako Kalin were all three in that movie.
Mhm.
They're local wrestlers.
Jimmy gets in all the cool movies. He was
Yeah.
he was in the prison one there a few months ago or last year.
Yeah, well, actually, that's going on like 3 years now.
Oh, has it been 3 years?
Yeah, it's actually coming out this summer. Escape from Death Block 13. My husband and the entire stunt team was in that, along with Madman Fulton from
Mhm.
NXT, or sorry, Impact. And I actually got to be a SWAT guard in that.
Nice.
You can't see my face, but you can see my boots, and it was so much fun.
The girls made their debut, huh?
Yes, yes.
Oh, now I got to watch it.
Yeah, that and I got to be Gary Jones' assistant. I got to work the slate a couple times for a few of the shoots, and it's really great working with such a talented director like Gary Jones. He's very talented with his demeanor and attention to detail. He's second to none.
Very cool. Yeah, I don't know if we've touched on it or not, but you've been in some other films here recently and stuff like that. Let's talk about those and what the ones you've been in.
Absolutely. Well, the one that I was telling you guys about earlier is More in the Streets, an educated hood film. I assisted in directing that during the early stages of the shoot. Sorry, this is Persephone. She is my baby. But that was I play Diamond in that film, and I'm getting ready to reshoot my scenes here within the next few weeks. I can't say a whole lot about the film because it is a private script, but it will be available on Amazon when it does come out.
Nice.
And then my very first ever film was Leslie's Odyssey. Our friend Eric called us probably 4 years ago, and he said, do you guys really want to act? And I said, I've never acted before. Like I've never even thought about it. So we went up to Cleveland, and we shot a few scenes, and apparently it went good, and I got nominated for Best Line Given, and we've been doing it ever since. So it's
nice.
So much fun.
You have a burgeoning career.
Yes, absolutely.
So this just kind of fell into your lap. It sounds like, I mean, just from what you've been talking about, sometimes that's the best way for some things to happen. If you push too hard and you get disappointed, and you try and you try and you try, but when things just kind of happen organically, I think it's more satisfying that way.
Absolutely. Yeah. I never would have imagined myself being a actress, radio host, multimedia specialist when I was growing up. I wanted to be either a cop or a veterinarian. So
that's way off on the other side of the spectrum.
Right. Yeah. Well, I went to Pioneer Career and Technical Center in high school for criminal justice. So, and then I was a corrections officer for about 6 months after high school. So then, of course, it just wasn't for me. 19 years old in a prison. it's not very, very fun.
Not a good idea.
No, absolutely not.
I can just imagine all the inmates just giving you a hard time. And
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's actually a pretty funny story. Now it's funny. Back then it was terrifying and I was really pissed off as it was happening, but I actually got locked in a cell.
Nice.
Yeah. So what happened was the prison that I was at, they had the prison, the main prison, and then they had the camp, which was converted from the old juvenile hall. And house number 2 was the old segregation building. So their cells would lock completely. And I was always running around trying to open the doors for inmates who accidentally closed their cells on themselves. Well, I got pissed off at them one night because it's basically a glorified babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, hi. So when I got so mad at them one night and I said, that's it. I am doing a 360 cell search. And I got to the A side, cell number 3, and the bastard closed the door on me as I was walking in and locked me in there. Thankfully, I was alone. Yes, hi, honey.
Right. Yeah.
But I was so mad. I hit my man down button and they all came running. they said, Sprague, what are you doing? I was like, just get me the fuck out of here.
Was the inmate just sitting there laughing at you? Or
Yes. Yes, they all were.
Nice.
So yeah, I wasn't there very long after that.
Yeah, I would imagine the pranks would have probably gotten worse.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But when you said you were a corrections officer, it reminded me of the movie Ready to Rumble with David Arquette.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of when he was the whatever he was at the end, he was the cop, and he goes, "I will bust you." It's like, okay, I get it. When he teamed up.
It was a very very confusing time in my life. I didn't know where I wanted to go, who I wanted to be. Thankfully, about 2 months later, I met Random Pain, and things kind of went on track after that. So.
Nice. Just takes the right person. That's all.
Absolutely, yeah. He is. Even though he is very trying sometimes, and he of course is the ultimate heel, he's still my best friend and my soulmate, and I wouldn't live in this world without him. He's so great.
Very cool.
Even heels can be great.
Yes.
I'm living proof right here.
Yes.
I was like, don't ask Terry that though. She didn't have the same answer on Wednesday night.
She doesn't like Shank very much.
No, she's not a fan.
So let me ask you this, Lady Payne, regarding Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys decorate?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This year we moved into our new house, and we used to live on a farm which was in BFE, so we didn't really feel the need to decorate, but now we live in a really nice community, and my neighbor Tom actually built me a little mini coffin for my fairy garden, and it's absolutely awesome. I love it. So we decorated our fairy garden all Halloween, and Random Pain actually went to a thrift shop and got a little doll. It's absolutely creepy. I hate dolls. I think that they are just creepy, and unorthodox. They don't need to be in my space.
Carnage Haunted House, we got a room I'm sure you'd love.
Yes. But he created this, he painted this doll, all gray, and then he painted its eyes and its lips and its nails and everything else. And the worst part is that it giggles.
Oh,
And that just set me off. I was like, you are not bringing that thing in my house. It is staying in the garage. I don't care. So yeah, that is where it's at. It does not come inside.
Nice. Now, do you guys get all gimmicked up for Halloween, or do you just
Oh, yeah.
sit there and pass out candy?
Well, last year I actually had to work, so I couldn't dress up. But the few years we've dressed up. We love to cosplay. We are big comic book fans, and we've cosplayed as Harley Quinn and the Joker. I've went as Poison Ivy one year, and then one year Brandon Payne is a very, very talented artist, and he drew a really cool grinning cat face on me. So that was one of my Halloween costumes one year.
Nice.
I like that. Donnie had mentioned Carnage Haunted House just a second ago, and it's like the gears in my head were turning, and I know a place where you might be able to scare somebody, and that's at Carnage.
Okay.
We're in with the owner, so I think we can make something happen come Halloween season. What do you think?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
talk to them, see if we can get a little guest spot in there. We'll make her work the doll room.
Hey, you know what? I'll do it. Why not? I will be terrified, but I'll do it.
Yeah, they got a room in there. It's got hundreds of dolls, like all shapes, sizes. And yeah, I mean, even when I walk through it, I kind of look around at them and like, all right, I'm just going to hurry up through this room and get to the next one.
Right.
I can promise you this, Lady Payne. When you get your first scare, it is an adrenaline rush like you've never seen before. Mm-hmm. And all you want to do is scare, and scare. I promise you. Every season I did it, from the first time I started when I was a teenager up until the last time I did it, every season started, that first scare of the season jump-started everything, and it was just so exhilarating. It was a natural high that you just can't beat.
Oh, I can only imagine. My husband is very, very skittish. This is one thing that not a whole lot of people know about him, but he is very skittish, and I love scaring him.
Yeah, I do definitely use that to your advantage.
Yes, all the time.
Now, do you guys go to haunted houses? Even though he's jumpy like that, does he go in with you and you guys go through a few of them?
We've went to one together. We took our oldest daughter, Madison, a few years ago to her very first haunted house, and she was great. Absolutely, she was awesome with it. He on the other hand was the biggest dork. He was front of the group, and walking through. Oh, we got about 5 or 6 of us over here, so don't waste it on me.
trying to deter him from getting him, huh? Well, he was in the best spot because you usually don't scare the first one.
Yeah, he was loving it. He was like, oh well, we've got a 13-year-old girl over here. This is her very first time, and I'm like, would you just stop?
So normally, in my experiences over the years, normally people like your husband put the woman in front. And what we do is we call that woman a meat shield. Because he wants all the monsters to get her first.
Right.
So it's interesting that he was up front. But again, like Donnie said, most haunters don't scare at the front. They wait till the middle of the pack and then they let loose.
Mm-hmm.
See, don't tell him that, and now you'll have to get him in the middle next time.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, he is very smart when it comes to strategies like that. So
now you can use that terminology on him, just like, I'm going to be in the front. I'm going to be your meat shield.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell are you talking about?
So just say, honey, I got this.
Mhm.
I find it interesting, though, being the major heel he is, that he would be so skittish in a haunted house. That's
Right. Well, you would think, because he holds several black belts in martial arts, that he wouldn't be as skittish, but no, I mean, you can just go roar, and he's like, oh, would you fucking stop that?
Yeah, some people, it's just that's part of their DNA, and they can't help it.
right.
And we enjoy it because we exploit it.
Yes.
I get it. I'm more tickled by scaring big guys than I am by women or kids, because when you can make a big guy do that, it's just a feather in your cap. It's
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was one of my biggest accomplishments when we had the trail. Like my favorite scare was a guy probably twice my size, and I was chasing him down the path because that's how terrified he was, and I was literally sprinting, like chasing him. I couldn't catch. He was like said he was twice my size, and I couldn't catch him. I was like, good God, this dude's fast.
Oh, well, that's one thing which I'm probably not supposed to tell you guys this, but Random Pain absolutely hates being chased.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, he hates it.
Oh, now I have to tell you this story.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the Dent Schoolhouse?
I think so. Where's that at?
It's down in Cincinnati. It's a very popular haunted house. And I worked there for a number of years, 3 or 4 years back in the early 2010, I thought, like from 2009, 2010 to like 2013. Anyway, at one year we had this thing going on, and we had 2 attractions. We had the main house, and then we had what was called the detention hall, which is a big 3,500 square foot maze that me and the other 5 guys that worked in there just would terrorize anybody that came through it. Well, I had the opportunity of working both the queue line and the inside of the maze. And at that point in time, they had an app for your iPhone, and your friends could take a picture of you and send that picture to the app. And that would be the cue for the monsters to come get that person. So we got a picture of this kid, probably 16 years old, that his friends sent in. And me and 2 other guys that are just as big as me came out to the queue line to come get him. He saw us coming and wasn't having any of it and ran. Well, we caught him. And my partner, Jason, picked him up, threw him over his shoulder, walked back into the middle of the attraction, dropped him off. That's not where the funny part is. Okay. First of all, the kid's terrified, and he's in this haunt by himself with monsters all around him. Well, Jason comes up to the front entrance, and he sticks his head out the curtain. He goes, Jim, come here. So I went back in, and we went backstage real quick. He goes, he peed all over me.
Oh no.
His entire right side was drenched. And Jason didn't change his costume the rest of the night.
Oh, that just makes it worse.
He worked in that piss-covered costume for the rest of the night. That kid, I mean, I could only imagine what his friends were doing to him, because his pants were drenched too. I mean, come on.
Oh, they had to be.
Yeah.
It was just the most fun experience that we had there. And the fact that kid peed all over him just was the icing on the cake.
Right. Wow.
He earned that scare, didn't he?
We scared him good.
Yep.
So it's it's been fun, and I really hope that you can get the opportunity to scare people, because there's nothing like it. And if Donnie and I have anything to say about it, we'll make it happen for you. Because
Mhm.
That would be absolutely awesome.
Yeah. Is Blood Prison, are they doing stuff? I heard that they were not doing something now or something.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll have to check with Vic.
Yeah. Because I may have read it wrong, but I thought I seen something where they weren't doing it there anymore because of the pandemic or something. I don't know if they're going to start it back up, but I may have misread it too. I may be completely wrong. I don't know.
I know Carnage might be a little far, but he's got a green room. You got a place to stay if you need to.
Yeah, it's a big bowling alley. So they got a bar, they got a restaurant, they're gonna have 3 haunts inside there. They got all kinds of virtual reality rooms going to be in there.
Ooh, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun place.
They've got an amazing New Orleans scene.
Oh, I love New Orleans. That is one of my top 5 places to go before I die.
I went back in 2018 to a haunters convention that was down there. So I got the opportunity to go down Bourbon Street. I went to St. Louis Cemetery #1, saw Marie Laveau's crypt, all that good stuff. It is well worth the trip.
You know, it's very crazy, my goal, but I want to go down there and witness a Irish funeral.
An Irish funeral in New Orleans.
Because I mean, the way that they celebrate their dead, I mean, they walk with the casket through downtown, and they just dance and play music and drink, of course. So that's like one of my all-time goals is to witness that.
It's an experience. They've got a thing called the first line and the second line with some of their funerals. I wasn't able to witness one of those firsthand, but I did get to go around places and, like I said, see St. Louis Cemetery #1, which was on my bucket list. And here's an interesting fact. You ever heard the song by the Animals called The House of the Rising Sun?
Absolutely.
I've seen The House of the Rising Sun.
That's awesome.
Right there in New Orleans. Went on a nighttime tour, and that's one of the places we stopped, was the House of the Rising Sun.
That's so cool.
And Bourbon Street, just wow.
Mm-hmm.
Got to watch out for the grifters. But yeah, you've got to go. I mean, and it's reasonably priced. And I probably went. I was there for like 3 or 4 days, and I spent less than $1,000.
Really? That's awesome. Yeah, for sure.
Well, let me ask you this, and I don't usually get into religious conversations, but just out of curiosity, would you be Wiccan or pagan, perchance?
I was actually raised Lutheran, and then I studied Wicca in my teens and my early 20s. But I actually converted to Christianity when I married my husband. I'm still more spiritual than anything, but I do believe in God and everything else. So
okay, I'm just curious. I'm a practicing Wiccan myself.
Oh, awesome. Do you read tarot cards and poems?
I do.
Awesome. Me too.
I love my tarot cards. I have dragon tarot cards.
I love dragons. Hang on one second. This is my favorite right here.
Very nice.
And then I have my incense burner right here in my office.
Oh, I like that. That is cool.
It's a backflow incense. So the smoke comes out of his nose.
Mm-hmm.
And then my little one. This is my little one.
Oh, that's cute.
It's Spencer's.
Yeah, I've been Donnie and I have been talking before we got on air, and I'm excited because I'm going on a vacation in 2 weeks from Saturday,
Mhm.
and I'm taking my wife to Salem, Massachusetts.
Oh, that's awesome. My mom went there when she was about my age, and she said that she's a practicing Wiccan, and she said that she could feel the energy, and it was very powerful.
It is. This is going to be my second trip. I went 15 years ago, and this will be the second time, and I'm really looking forward to it because the energy is something else.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's like Donnie's like, shut up, Tim. I don't want to hear about it.
No, I was getting ready to ask is like, cause I know of it, but I don't know a lot about it. So is that like a big Wiccan hotspot down there?
Yeah, Wiccan, pagan, spiritual. I mean, it's the type of city where nobody's judged for being what they are.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And of course, with the witch trials and everything back in the late 1600s, and the witch memorials and such, witches do congregate there. And they've even got the official witch of Salem. Her name is Lori Cabot.
Mhm.
And she was designated the official witch by former Governor Michael Dukakis.
Gotcha.
So, and Chris, my wife, is just over the moon to go. She's never been, and she's been practicing Wicca longer than I have.
That's
So
awesome.
she can't wait to go, and she's chomping at the bit and saving up every bit we can to do everything we can. And
Now, is it a big paranormal hotspot? Or are you taking your paranormal stuff with you?
who would I be if I did?
All right. It's like, I figured so, but I just wanted to ask.
Yeah, I'm going to be taking some of my gear. Maybe not all of it, but some of it.
Yeah.
This isn't about me. We're talking about Lady Payne here. All right.
Well, I was
am
getting ready to ask her if she's into the paranormal and the ghost hunting and all that.
I am, yes. I actually played a ghost hunter in my last film that we did last year for another Cleveland competition. It's called Unbind, and I can't say a whole lot about it, unfortunately, but I was a paranormal investigator with my team, and then I retired, and we started having troubles in my house with my husband, and then some things happened. So, but
Right.
it's called Unbind, and it's not yet released yet, but it is absolutely amazing, and it's got a very awesome twist.
Cool. Now, have you went on real investigations before?
Unfortunately, I have not.
Yes,
I'm
I haven't either.
actually, yeah. I don't know if I could. I, yeah, I don't know if I could. I'm kind of a skeptic when it comes to the whole paranormal and ghosts and spirits and stuff like that. I've been scammed way too many times by friends and people saying, "Oh yeah, I can see your father, and he loves you and everything else," and then it turns out to be phonies and.
Mhm.
I don't buy a lot of that shit,
Mhm.
but I know what I've experienced in my own investigations, and I don't bullshit people. I've captured EVPs that are questionable. I've had photos that are questionable, and I've had people look at them and tear them apart and try to find some explanation. And I call myself a hopeful skeptic.
Mhm.
So, you know, everybody believes what they want to believe. And my take on it is that there is something out there. It's just hard to prove what.
Mhm. My husband filmed at the Mansfield Reformatory a few years ago. That's the film that's coming out this summer. Um, he's a major skeptic. Like he doesn't like to believe in any of it, but he said that he felt something, and a lot of the other wrestlers felt like hands on their shoulders and stuff like that. So I don't know. I've went there once, but it was only on a daylight tour. So I don't dare go there by myself.
Yeah, we were there year before last for the Ohio Haunters and Halloween convention, and was there Saturday and Sunday, and I seen a couple odd things. And one of the vendors there caught a picture, and if you look up in the second level, it's a silhouette of a person just standing, like, staring down at them and stuff.
Mhm.
And
They say that the main place for activity is the solitary confinement and the chapel, which is one of the places that they filmed at for Escape from Death Block 13.
Oh, cool. So how can what the question we have to ask the question.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. We're going to give you the question.
Okay. I'm ready.
Yeah. We do it with every person that we interview, and there's no right or wrong answer. We just do it for fun. And still to this day, we've never had the same answer twice. So you've probably already actually done this before, but you are the main serial killer in your own horror film. What's your go-to kill?
Oh, this is my favorite question to answer, because I answered it at a Scream Queen competition. So have you ever heard of a castration machine that they use on farms, on cows, on cattle and stuff like that? My horror scene would be in a old rickety barn, and I would be the farmer's wife, and my husband, the farmer, would be all innocent and trying to say, oh, please stop, this isn't right. But I would take my victims, I would string them up and have each one of them brought over to my castration machine, because I hate men.
All right, my legs are crossed now.
Should I be worried for random?
No.
All right. Yeah, that was definitely a different one.
Oh, that's at the top of the list there. It's like, oh my gosh.
So the streak continues.
Cringing. So Lady Payne, tell us how people can find out more about you, about your shows, social media, things like that.
Absolutely. So they can find my show every Wednesday at 4:30 on the Score on Air Network on Facebook. I upload it to the Score on Air Network YouTube page, and I also upload it onto Anchor, which then sends it out to all of these streaming platforms. You can also find me on Instagram at my personal Instagram, which is Debbie Diggs Directing. Be mindful that there are a lot of cat pictures, like a lot of cat pictures. You can find me on TikTok. It's actually Debbie Diggs Payne, because random Payne, Lady Payne. You can find my regular show page at on Instagram and also Facebook, all one word, In the Ring with Lady Payne. And of course, I also manage Random Payne's Facebook page. So
you got your hand in a lot of pots.
I do, yes. I am a very busy woman.
Well, Lady Payne, thank you so much for taking time to talk with me and Donnie here on WrestleHorror. It has been an enlightening conversation and an enjoyable one. It's refreshing to talk to somebody that does media as well, and to learn a little bit more about you and what you do with horror and haunting and wrestling, of course. My name is Meathook Jim, along with Donnie Hoover and our special guest, Lady Payne. This is the WrestleHorror Podcast, and we will catch you on the next episode.
See you guys.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media outlets: Facebook.com/WrestleHorror, Instagram @WrestleHorror, Twitter at WrestleHorror, on YouTube at the WrestleHorror channel. And you can also find us on our website, www.wrestlehorror.com.